after buying my first sports car, I love it. A year and a half later, I still love it. And the only problem I see is that I want to upgrade. Hi YouTube. So this is my 2013 Mustang V6 with the 3.7 liter. So I'm making this video for those that are wanting to get into the car scene and are thinking about this car or just kind of any sports car in general, and like the things that I've noticed owning this car over the last year and a half. So I want to start out with, this is my daily driver year-round. I don't have any other cars, and I live in Michigan, so that means I'm driving this in rain, snow, sleet, ice. It was quite the experience. I would say that snow tires are definitely a good investment in putting weight in the back. I didn't get a chance to do that this winter. Thankfully, nothing really scary happened, but it's still better to probably take those precautions. So that would be something to take into account when you're pricing out a vehicle like this. If it's going to be your daily driver, you're definitely going to want to include snow tires in your budget. I did not do that much, and I've been okay so far, but it's probably going to get me into trouble. So this year, snow tires for sure. So just overall impressions, how do I feel about the car after a year and a half? I love it. I loved it when I got it. I still love it. It sounds amazing. I'll just drop down in a second. That is also right now I'm missing, I essentially have a muffler delete, because when I bought the car it had an Axleback exhaust system installed, but whoever installed it didn't do a very good job, because where it was installed, where the old piping meets the new, it rusted through, and now the exhausts are just, or the mufflers are just kind of hanging there on the exhaust, not really attached. So that's a great feature. But the car sounds great for a V6. I wasn't expecting to like the sound of this exhaust at all when I bought it, but it turned out to be pretty damn good. And of course it's got a 6-speed manual. Me personally, I had to get something with a manual. And if you're scared about getting a manual transmission because you don't know how to use one, there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube about learning how to drive one, and I'm sure you have a friend somewhere that has one that would be willing to teach you. The manual transmission makes this car just, you feel so much more in control, and it just feels that much sportier and fun, especially having an exhaust. That's the only modification to this car at this time, is the exhaust. I'll throw in a clip of the exhaust at some point, probably at the end of the video. By the fact that it's a V6 and it's going to get better gas mileage. EPA rated this at 21 city and 30 highway. I average with highway driving 22 all around. It's not really good on gas. It's not terrible either. There's definitely worse that you can get, especially like if you had a V8. Could have had a V8, man. And that's one of the other downsides about this, is stock this makes about 305 horsepower crank, so that's not to the wheels. I don't know how much to the wheels exactly. I've not dynoed it. But that's the downside, is it gets you wanting more power, and I find myself wanting to do upgrades to this engine specifically, but at the same time, wanting to upgrade to the newer, nicer GTs, like an 18 or newer, just to make it for the better interior. This, I'd say, out of all the cars that I've owned, I came from a 2006 Kia Optima to a 2010 Dodge Avenger to this. The Avenger's interior was pretty nice. It was pretty plasticky, but it was leather, heated seats, really nice sound system. This version of the Mustang is as base model as it gets, literally all the way down to the transmission. The only extras that this vehicle has is the appearance package, which is the hood scoop and the side skirts and the ducktail spoiler. But other than that, this has no options whatsoever. Basic stereo. Now, it doesn't even have Bluetooth for a 2013, which I find quite disappointing. Daily driving a manual isn't... I think that's up to personal preference. I've never gotten sick of driving through traffic with this, personally, but I don't live in a super heavy traffic area, so like if you live in downtown Chicago or LA or something like that, just along those lines, you're probably not going to have as good of a time with the manual. I highly recommend the manual because I feel like it's the way to drive a sports car and just feel in control, and it's hard to explain to somebody that hasn't drove one before. I didn't know how much I loved it until I did it. The first car I ever drove with a manual transmission was a Mazda Miata, and that was a little ball of fun. Not quite that fast, but oh man, can that thing handle. As far as reliability goes, with this Mustang in particular, I got it at 66,000 miles, and I'm at 85,000 miles, so almost 2,000 or 20,000 miles later, and I have had no issues with it whatsoever. Knock on wood. Let's listen to the exhaust for a second. Drop it in 6th gear, save some gas. But overall, owning this car has been a blast. I would 100% do it again. There's been some financial stuff involved with this where I probably spent more money than I should have, but I've been having a blast with the car. I love it to death. It made me really happy at a time in my life where I wasn't sure where I was going. Listen to that. And then that just makes me smile every time, and I can't get enough of that. I'm gonna keep making videos on this, and I got this really cool camera set up where I can put this overlay that you see on the screen. I can kind of customize that and do a few different things. I've got an app on my phone that I can screen record and put that up on the screen too. I'll do some videos with that, but I don't know, if you watch this video and there's something you want to know, just leave a comment, ask me, and maybe I'll make a video about it. I mean, obviously I have no viewers at this point in time. This is the very first video I'm making for this this channel, but we're gonna give this a go and see how everything feels, because I'm really excited to do this, and I want to share this with people. I want them to know what my experience was like buying a sports car, their first sports car, and how do I feel after that. Like after buying my first sports car, I love it. A year and a half later, I still love it, and the only problem I see is that I want to upgrade. So, like, subscribe, comment down below, you know, all that good jazz. I'll see you later, YouTube.